let us discuss about some objective questions, okay, on chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1, that is stress and strains. Okay, now a material is called ductile if it, options are, have little plastic elongation range, B option has long plastic elongation range, C could be hammered into very thin sheets, D show large elastic strain. Okay, we have already discussed about ductile material. So ductile means we know that its post elastic strain is very high. So after elastic limit it is having high strain, that is its plastic region is having high strain. So what will be our option? Has long plastic elongation range. Okay, so this is B is our correct answer. Okay, now the second one, Hooke's law is valid up to, we know that Hooke's law is strictly valid up to proportionality limit. So limit of proportionality is the correct answer. Okay, now out of the following which is least elastic? Silver, rubber, iron, copper. In this, among these four, we know that rubber behave more like a brittle material, so that is least elastic. Okay, so rubber is our correct answer. Now the fourth one, ability of a material to absorb energy till breaking or rupture takes place is known as. See, the ability of a material to absorb energy, we have already studied that, that is called toughness. Now the next one, the stress strain curve for an ideally plastic material is, see, ideally plastic means we are assuming that it is ideally plastic. Okay, so plastic, ideally plastic means it is plastic region, mean what? It will be like this part is called plastic. Now if stress strain curve we are drawing, this will be a straight portion, then that is called plastic. So among this, which one is that? This is elastoplastic. If first section is elastic, then it is plastic, and this one is more like initial portion is elastic, then it will be like if it's straight. Okay, if it's straight, then it is having a strain hardening portion, then it is having a like rupture portion. Okay, like that, that is strain softening section, then rupture portion. So this is not one, and this is mild steel curve, so this is not ideally plastic. So the last one is this one, this is like ideally plastic. Okay, it is having a line parallel to strain, that is it's having an infinite level of strain for a particular value of stress. So we have already discussed this as plastic. Okay, now the next question, the stress below which material has high probability of not failing under reversal of stress is known as. Under, see, this we have already discussed. What is this? This is actually fatigue limit or fatigue strength. So what is fatigue strength? It is like, it is that it can be given like reversal of stress, or cycles can be given on a material, that is its fatigue. Now so see, we will now discuss what is the endurance limit curve. Okay, this is our stress axis and this is our number of cycles. Okay, on this axis, see, we are drawing a curve like this. See, this is nearly parallel to the x-axis, okay, or the number of cycles axis. See, in this portion, see, if you for this particular value of stress, let us name this as sigma 1. For this value of stress, if this value of stress is there in a material, then that will be having only this much number of cycles. Suppose if this is, we name it as 100 number of cycles. Okay, so for this value of stress, if a material is subjected to, then it can run only 100 times. Okay, it can run only 100 cycles. But see, if suppose we reduce the stress in a material like sigma E, if you are giving, okay, then that in that stress the material can run infinite. See, this number of cycles, this axis, this is nearly parallel to this axis, so this is like till it goes to infinity, till the number of cycles goes to infinity, this material can run in this stress sigma E. Okay, this sigma E is called endurance limit. Okay, endurance limit or fatigue limit. Okay, so that is it. This question is related to this one. See the question. The stress below which the material has high probability of not failing under reversal of stress. See, under this stress, the material is not going to fail. It is carrying large number of cycles. Cycles means reversal of stress. It's carrying infinite number of reversal of stress. So what is that limit? Endurance limit. Okay, so B option, endurance limit, is our answer. The next one, seventh question. The stress at which material fracture under large number of reversal of stress is called. It's the same thing. About this one or at this point, the material is going to fail, na? Because a reversal of stress it cannot take above this value. See, the stress at which material fracture under large number of reversal of stress. If number of cycles is getting large, the material will fail above this or at this limit. So that stress is called endurance limit. Okay, so that is our answer. Now the next question, if A is the cross-sectional area of bar, gauge length for the measurement of ductility will be, we have already discussed it, that is 5.65 ρt. Okay, now for a linear elastic isotropic material, the number of independent elastic constants are, we have already discussed this also, that is 2. Okay, what is that? E and nu, modulus of elasticity and Poisson's ratio. Okay, now the two bars, one of material A and other of material B of same length. Okay, see, two bars are there, A and B of same length, are tightly secured between two unyielding walls. See, there are two walls. Okay, between that we are two bars A and B of same length, we are tightly securing. Okay, if alpha of A is greater than alpha of B, when temperature rises, sigma induced, that is stress induced, are tension in both material, tension in A material and compression in B material. Option C is compression in A material and tension in B material, and option D is compression in both materials. See, A and B are tightly secured between two unyielding walls and alpha of A is greater than alpha of B. So what does that mean? If temperature is given to it and temperature is risen, then what, A will increase in length or try to increase in length more than B. But see, this is already between unyielding walls. So A and B also both, if temperature is risen, both try to increase in its length. But here it just means that A is trying to increase more in length than B. But still, because this is between unyielding walls, these both are subjected to increase in length because of the temperature rise. So what will happen? What stress will, in order to reduce that should be fixed here. So in order to reduce, it's trying to increase in length, what will act on it? The compression will act on it. Now both of that will be subjected to compression like this. So what type of stress is acting on it? Compressive stress is acting on both A and B in order that the increase in length is prevented. So compression in both materials is the correct option. Okay, that's it.